Toastmaster Mei Lim. The purpose of this project is for you as a member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Time, 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Haji Hashim. The first speaker for today is Mei Lim, PM5, with the project Engaging Human Pathway, Research and Presenting, with the title 2021 Year of the Ox. Mei Lim will be wrapping up the year with this speech to complete her level 1 in Engaging Human Pathway. Mei decided to talk about the new year of a project for researching and presenting. She will share some absolutely trivial informations and knowledge that is probably totally unimportant unless you're going to take part in a pub quiz during this holiday, December to remember. Therefore, stay tuned, we'll find out what is she going to present for her research. Mei Lim with the title 2021 Year of the Ox, 2021 Year of the Ox. Mei Lim, over to you.
Thank you, Andy. Can everybody see my screen? Great. So the year of the ox is year 2021. We were talking all about year 2020 and how it is a year to remember. It's a December to remember. I already guessed that we will be talking about December and the year 2020, and everybody will be reminiscing about it. So to be different, I researched on what's coming next, which is year 2021, because this is the last meeting. And of course, we should make it fun, engaging, humorous, and absolutely not serious, because year 2020 has been way too serious for all of us. So I believe we should wrap it up with some humor and be absolutely relaxed today. And my speech today will be on the year of the ox. So what is the year of the ox? Now, the year of the ox is based on the Chinese zodiac. What is the Chinese zodiac? You can see on the ring there. The Chinese zodiac has 12 zodiac signs, and the ox is the second animal, as you can see in that little circle there. It's also commonly known as a bull. There is a story on how these 12 animals became part of the Chinese zodiac. But you know what? I'm not talking about this. That's a story for another time. Today, we will only be talking about a whole lot of bull. So after today, you're all going to be savvy about bull stories and wrap up the year with lots of fun. What's the difference between a bull and an ox, in case you're wondering? Now, according to AskDifference.com, a bull is a male bovine. An ox is a male bovine that is usually a draft animal. A draft animal means domesticated. Collectively, altogether, they are commonly referred to as cattle. This is trivia knowledge number 1. Did you know a domesticated ox is usually castrated? Yes, guys, you might be feeling it right now. This is to better control the draft animal because of the hormonal levels. So interesting information that you probably do not really need to know, but I'm sharing it today. Next, why is the role of the ox so important? Now, based on nationalgeographic.org, the ox is actually one of the earliest animals to be domesticated, almost 10,000 years ago. Yes, it was so long ago. And the ox and the horse actually came together as the first large animals to help humans. And they're usually used as a means of transportation or for farming work. Trivia knowledge number 2. Did you know that the first domesticated animals were goats? Yep, goats. Second were sheep. And third were chickens. Yep, all small animals. Then the ox and the horse came. Another unimportant information to add to your life. So ox as a transportation, as I mentioned, this is how it looks like. This is in India. So, you know, the typical picture, you have the ox and an ox cart. Sometimes it's called a bullock cart. Now, Australians call it bullock, but in other parts of the world, we call it ox or bull. So that's how it looks like. However, you may be interested to know that in some other countries, you can transport the ox. And this is in Vietnam. So the ox can be transported as well by humans. It depends where you are. That's in Vietnam, based on travelart.com. Next. Now, there are a lot of oxen-inspired idioms. It made its way into the English dictionary from a long time ago. So if you look at your English lessons or maybe people who speak about it, you may find that there are a lot of idiomatic expressions that are based on the ox, and they are all actually from the origins of the characteristics of an ox. Trivia knowledge, number 3. The plural of ox is oxen. Why is it not oxes? Now, many English words have a German, or we call it Germanic history, and some words take on the plural form of "en" at the end. If you think about it, think of children. Child, children. Now you get ox, oxen. Yay! Another unimportant information that you can show off during a pub quiz. Yes. So let's look at some positive idioms based on the freedictionary.com. Obviously, I'm going for free sources. I'm not going to pay for this. So based on freedictionary.com, we have some positive idioms. As strong as an ox. It means someone who has exceedingly great physical strength. How about built like an ox? Someone with a large body size and well-toned muscles, you know, usually these are men. Then we have constitution of an ox. Someone who is, you know, very determined, very strong in their mindset, and they know what they want, and they overcome whatever obstacles just to reach their goals. So these are positive idioms. Then we have negative idioms. All right, dumb ox. Now, if someone is a dumb ox, it means he's not really smart and he doesn't really think before going head on into a situation, like just barging head on. Then you say that guy's a dumb ox. We could also have this not so common idiom, ox in a ditch. It means a messy or difficult situation that requires immediate attention, or like an emergency. For example, I can't go to the dinner right now because someone had an accident and they are in an ox in a ditch situation. Why did this come to be? Imagine an ox that fell into a ditch. What does an ox do? They would just go into a panic mode and dig and dig and dig and get itself deeper into the ditch. And that's why it's called an ox in a ditch. Then we have a poem to wrap up, because there's not much time in this 5 to 7 minute speech, and I have to wrap it up. So I created this poem for fun, because this is a fun presentation. So as year 2021 comes peeking around the corner, I hope everything becomes much better. The world would rediscover its lost sanity, and everyone remembers the virtue of humanity. And to wrap that up, I would like to wish everyone a bullish year 2021 when we have the new year. So thank you everyone for listening to this, and I wish you all a happy new year. Thank you, and back to you, Andy.
Thank you, Mei Ling. I would like to start with a poem as well related to the word ox. I am not born in the year of fox. In the Christmas, we will hang our SOX socks. As well, we're waiting for a box present. I'm proud to be an ox. Thank you so much, Mei Ling, and I'm proud, bonus as well, I'm proud to be a smart ox, in fact. Next, we move on to the second speaker for today, Simon. Yeah, my slide. Being a smart ox, now I have overpraised myself then. Shit.
Meanwhile, everybody else can do maths and guess how old Andy is, since he says he's an ox.
Our second speaker for today, Simon Peter, he's doing Pathway Project Innovative Planning Introduction to Toastmaster Mentoring with the title A Tough Nut to Crack. Before he begins, or I introduce him, may I invite his evaluator, Leong Oiwa, DTM, to read out the purpose statement to Simon. Oiwa, over to you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Simon, for this speech project, the purpose is for you to clearly define how Toastmasters envision mentoring. And the purpose of this speech is also for you to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Oiwa. For Simon, he's a very young at age and even in Super Speaker, but he's never young in Toastmaster on his experience. He's currently worked in the training ops strategies at Bukit Jalil, and his favorite quotes in his life: live the life you live the life you live. There's a lot of complicated words there. Therefore, it really makes sense on his title here. Therefore, with great honor, I would like to invite the second speaker for today, Simon Peter, a tough nut to crack. A tough nut to crack, Simon Peter. Over to you, Simon.
Ladies and gentlemen, God gives the nuts, but he does not crack them for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, please raise your hands if you do agree. So how many of you agree that a nut requires to be cracked and it does not crack on its own? Raise your hands. All right, awesome. So that essentially is the whole gist of what I have learned as a mentor, as a mentee in the Toastmasters journey. So I'll just go straight to the point. All right. So I believe that I have actually had 3 mentors in my life. 3 mentors. So I'll just tell you 3 different stories, and I'll try to sum it up as briefly as possible, my whole life story, without boring you. All right. So, when I was born, it's just like any other Hindi movie, right? So there'll be something extreme happen. There'll be thunderstorm, there'll be rain, right? So then Simon was born. And I grew up in this family whereby my dad and my mom were actually from very poor families. So that means they had to fight for everything. They believed that they had a lot of things that you need, sometimes you need to, give a punch in order to survive. All right. And also we needed to fight. They taught me to fight for what you want. So when I was in school, when I was growing up, I had this bully who kept on bullying, kicking me, right? And every time I would tell my dad, he would say, Simon, hit back, right? So I hit him back, and it did not end well, because not just the bully and myself, we both got hitting. You got nice caning from the teacher, right? So that is when I learned that from my first mentor is my dad. He's a very hard, strong-headed person. So he believes that you need to grab anything that you get. So that is where I get my hard-headedness and very a person who does not bow down to people. So that's the first one. Then as I grew older, I was mostly a lone wolf, whereby because in school there was always these different groups, right? Different groups of people. You see certain groups, racial groups will be together, but I am the guy who tries to go in all the groups, because I can't pick and choose one. It's not that they are choosy, it's because I can't make a choice. So I found each group. So the Chinese is the one I used to speak to them in Mandarin, and I used to love playing Chinese chess with them. Okay, so I learned a lot from them. And then we had the Malay group who always had the coolest gadgets. So I always wanted to go with them and see what's the latest phones. And then we had the Indians who were really good at football. And I used to love sports, even though I was not really good at it. So those 3 friends were actually my mentors, because, the experience that I got was that, I, as someone who is not of one race, so I did not really understand what this it means, right, about racism, right? So I saw that everybody was the same until I actually, yeah. So that was the second mentor. And then the third mentor was when I went to in my Toastmaster club in Help University. So as you can see, I'm a hard-headed person. I was a butterfly, social butterfly who could not pick a group. So in university, it's very interesting because you can no longer be by yourself. Everything was, there's some form of group work involved. So I needed to actually learn, all right? So that was the same time where I joined this Toastmaster Club and where I had a mentor by the name of Vincent. So now Vincent, he is actually my junior, younger than me, much more hard-headed than me. He has something, a goal in mind, he will grab it. So by how many of you have actually worked under someone younger than you before? Raise your hands. No, none? All right, okay. Okay, good. So you work under someone younger than you. So for me at the time, I felt that, oh, a mentor should be someone older than me, isn't it? Isn't old wine the best kind of wine to drink? The same goes to mentor. Shouldn't you learn from someone who's older than you? So that was a thought I had until I came to, in my Toastmaster journey, we have to do different things. One was speaking, which we always do in public in prepared speeches. But there's also another form called leadership. The leadership, all right? So I actually had to get people under my wing, right? So yeah, so I actually learned, so Vincent was the kind that was always there to support you, but he was not always, telling you what to do, like how my dad was. And yeah, so he was the kind that, let it be. And even though I had this kind of, this age kind of barrier that I had, I still, yeah, it took until only when we had an event where we had to MC, he actually got me to be the MC for one of our Speechcraft events. And for me, I had all the issues in the world. I could find out, I came up with all the different reasons why the whole event will fail. So that's one thing that I've learned from Vincent, right? But throughout, I realized that it was a limiting belief that I had. Okay, so essentially, all in all, mentorship is something that is experiential. There is no one lesson that I can give to you that will sum up your mentorship process or your mentee process as a person who learns in public speaking or in Toastmasters. All right. So yeah. So I think in the Toastmasters, like now, I just joined Super Speakers, and my new mentor is none other than Khalid. As you can see, he's one that is always giving. He does not disturb you. I mean, he does not like, hey, Simon, do your speech. But instead, he's always open, and he's always, when I ask him questions, he actually answers and he's there. All right. So all in all, I think that, life or mentorship is what you get, is what you give. It's not so much what you get. If you put in more effort and you ask the right questions, you're going to get a really, for me, my personal opinion is that you will learn hell of a lot. All right. So yeah. So God gives the nuts, but he does not crack them. It's all up to you. Back to you.
Thank you, Simon. I always remember like father, like son, when they say a tough nut to crack. And also that one nut you can like serve one person, but if a nut you smash it and you do a nut spread, you might share it to 100 persons. Maybe. Thank you, Simon, so much for your tough nut to crack, but sometimes crack the nut could be a good thing. Next, we move on to the third speaker for today, which is Rachel. Let me share back my screen. Before she speaks, may I invite her evaluator, Alison, to read out the purpose statement. Over to you, Alison.
Toastmaster Rachel, The purpose of this speech is for you to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. It is also for you to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Alison.
I think it's the wrong evaluation. It's
prepare to speak professionally.
yeah.
No wonder I heard listen. Alison, look at the slide, Alison. Hey, shit, I pasted wrongly. Okay, my bad. My apologies. It's a copy paste error.
It's okay. I have the objective
Can you just remove
on
the
my
slide
screen.
then?
I need to edit. It will take time.
I can repeat. Yeah. Toastmaster Rachel, the purpose of your project is to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Short and sweet there, Alison. Rachel, she's a businesswoman with a strong interest in psychology. And she's currently a student in counseling as well. What a coincidence that Simon studies psychology. Rachel also is in psychology. It's just what a coincidence, something that we can remember here for this joint meeting. I should remove spot. Can we remove spotlight? Jesse, can we remove spotlight here?
I think it's removed.
Have you a spotlight? No.
Not on spotlight.
With this, I would like to invite Rachel with her speech title "No to Advice." Before I say that, this is 18 to 22 minutes long. Therefore, you need to prepare something you're going to listen to speak professionally under this innovative planning pathway project level 5. This I'd like to invite Rachel Ang. No to advice, Rachel Ang. Over to you, Rachel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all love to connect with people, isn't it? We love to share our life story, the things that we've been through, the happy one, the struggle, the sad, the challenges, all. Because when we share with people, when we share with our friends and family about the things that we've been through, that's where our brain releases the oxytocin and we feel good. And we feel good about the moment and about ourselves. Ourselves and the other persons. Now, the issue is when we share about our challenges in life, we share about all our personal story and all struggle, oftentimes, we will receive some unsolicited advices from people, like from family and friends and all. How many of you have experienced that before? It's like you haven't even complete your story and struggle, and you start to receive clarifying questions, and people start to jump in with their suggestions and solutions. Oftentimes, these people, they are with good intentions because they truly want the best for you. However, sometimes you might just find it, I actually did not ask for your suggestions, and the suggestions that the solution that you offer, it might not be relevant to me. So try to think of that moment. How do you feel it? How do you feel it? Do you feel a sense of frustrations, or do you feel like it's like, hey, come on, I can just shut up. Like you don't say it, but actually you feel it. But my speech today is just want to talk about, please don't offer any unsolicited advices. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. In any circumstances, in any situation, just try not to offer that. Of course, sometimes you are genuinely care about someone, especially those person are your close one, the more you wish to help the person out from their discomfort. But it just doesn't work that way. When someone share with, the reason that we don't offer unsolicited advice is because one of the reason is you are indirect and indirectly telling the other person that you have a problem and I'm here to fix your problem. And nobody likes that. Honestly, I hate that. So first of all, there's a few reasons behind. And the first reason is when someone trying to share with you their struggle and their moments, their difficulty in life, need be it's about personal decisions, about work, or any sort of topic. And then when we hear something and when you hear something, you straight away come in and offer suggestions. First of all, you don't know what the person been through. You don't know exactly how many times they thought of this, and you don't live their life. So you don't know what they've been through. So it's better for you not to offer any unsolicited advices because you are not the persons. So that is one of the reasons. And I just want to share that 2020 has been quite a challenging years for many of us, especially me. And sometimes we have this gathering that I bump into my friends. They will try to give suggestions, or they will try to ask, hey Rachel, are you eating like too much? Is it like overindulgence? And they try to, oh yeah, maybe you should go to exercise and things like that. And secondly, it's or in a different situation, they will be like, hey, I think you are losing too much weight. I think you should put on a lot of weight. So that is some comment, and also they jump to advices. So I don't feel good about it. And certainly, I'm sure that none of us want to hear that kind of comment and advices. Sorry, I'm just going to change my setting. Yeah, okay. And secondly, it's the number 2 is about timing. Don't you all agree that sometimes timing is very important? When a person did not ask you for your suggestions or advices, means they are not in the timing, they are not in the we call it like coachable timing. So whatever things that you say, they are not in the open mind to hear what you say. Unless this person come up to you and say, hey Rachel, can you give me some solution about these suggestions? I'm really lost. Then it's different because they are open to your suggestion. You are like a mentor to them. So whatever things that you say, they will remember it because they want to hear your advice. So ladies and gentlemen, please remember the timing is very important. If it's not the right timing, if it's not the coachable timing, whatever things that you say, she's going to throw it out of the window, right? So number 3, it's sometimes, right, you just go out and offer advices, and then some of us just want to be polite. We don't want to offend you, so we just keep quiet or for the things that you said. But in what is in the person's mind when they're hearing your advices, it's more like, hey, this person is very arrogant. They will think that you're arrogant, and probably they'll resent you as well. It's like, do you think you really know? And hey, please don't be like a know-it-all. Of course, they will say this to you, but probably this is what they're thinking, right? So we don't want to see as arrogant, and people might take it wrongly, even though with the best intentions, but people might not take it positively, especially they are not in the moment. And number 4, it's please do not offer unsolicited advice in a group, because you don't want to embarrass the persons, especially when they're hearing the advices. So I always remember when I was young, I was sitting during a Chinese New Year, or just with my families and relatives. So they always want to talk about work and talk about all sort of topic. And sometimes I just remember a moment that they just talk about, Rachel, maybe you should, like come up with idea, how to improvise yourself in certain area aspect of your life. And then they discussed it in a dining table. So I was like, oh, please leave me alone. Please do not discuss about my weakness or trying to offer me any unsolicited advice in a group setting, because it's so embarrassing. Never for anyone in a social setting or even in a family setting. like don't try to do that, because it's really unbearable as if did not hit positively. And one thing I think it's very important here, very important message is when you trying to have you have a moment that you are so open to your friends, like you open up your heart, you talk about all the painful things that you've been through in life, you know, the upsetting things, you are open up, you are so vulnerable in that moment. What do you really wish in that moment? Do you really want someone to come in and give you suggestions, solutions, idea, which probably you have thought of it 1,000 times before? Actually, what we really need is just someone to listen to us. We, with their time, not judging, and then with the active listening and show empathy to what I'm going to say. I think that's very important, because when someone is being vulnerable to you, and you are there to open up, and then you jump in trying to fix their problem, I think that one, it's indirectly you're taking away the power from that person's, even though if it's your children in the future or your spouses, your friends. So everyone need to go through the consequences of their decision in life, regardless it's good or bad. Then only they will know that whether this is a good decision or bad decisions. So if someone share with you a challenges, and then you jump in and give them unsolicited advice, so you indirectly taking away the power from them. You don't allow them to think for their own, and you don't empower them to experience the consequences in their life. So that one, it's in a way, I think it's not very good, because you might feel powerful deep down, like, oh, I can offer you solutions and I want to help you, but the other person, it might not be it might not be good for the other person. So in an event, if you really cannot, if you see something is very you really have to comment about something, then you really cannot zip your mouth. You have to tell the person about your opinion and suggestions. Then the best that you could do is to ask the other person, hey, Rachel, I think that you've been through these situations. I have some suggestion. Would you like to listen? Ask first. If that person say, oh yes, I would like to hear, then only you offer. If the person did not, if they don't feel comfortable, then don't offer any suggestions, because it's especially when it comes to personal life decision, about business decision. So it's entirely about the other person's. If you really have to say something, please remember, even if it's your children in the future, ask them. Do not take away the power from them. Empower them. That's how they can live through the decision and the consequences in their life. And a lot of time that we offer a lot of just do some reflections here, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of time we can't wait to offer solutions. Have you ever wondered why? Why are we so eager to offer solutions? Actually, the reason, I've done some research about this part. The one of the reason is because it's our own problem. We have our own anxiety. For example, I have some relatives. They are not feeling well, and then when people hear that the painful medical journey that we've been through, people just feel anxious, and they will start to jump in. Oh, I think you should eat this like Chinese herbal, all these nourishing things. Is it really about that person that is falling sick? Or because of those that hear it, they feel anxious. They couldn't bear. They couldn't be hearing all these negative, you might perceive as negative informations, and they want to come up with solution so that can make them feel better, make them feel at ease. They want to help the other person and help themselves to come out from discomfort. So ladies and gentlemen, please remember that when it comes to offers unsolicited, if you really like to offer unsolicited advice, is it about the persons that are going through the difficulty, or is it about you, that you have your own insecurity or your own anxiety? I think that one you will find out. Sorry, I'm just going to check the timing. I have went through a very meaningful training that is conducted by Sudha Kudva. It's one of the a very popular author and a psychologist. So what she taught me in the training that was profound. Humans we all yearn for connections, but how connection happens? From the popular psychologist Carl Rogers, they mentioned that all this real genuine connection is through empathy and compassion. It's not about offering solutions and suggestions. When we hear suggestion, unsolicited advices, and all these things, our body will just shut down. Because you send me a signal that I have a problem and you need to fix me. And nobody likes that. And so ladies and gentlemen, I would like to just end this speech by saying that please, in any circumstances, do not offer unsolicited advice. And if you really couldn't control your mouth, you need to offer advice. Ask permission first. And secondly, look into yourself. Mind your own business rather than other people's business. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you, Rachel. As they're saying that when you point someone, 2 fingers go in front, 3 fingers pointing yourself as well. And also that I want to add as well, when you have nothing to say, don't say anything. If you have something valuable to say, then do it. With this, now we have ended the 3 prepared speech session. I believe JC is going to launch the polling right now. Right? The 3 poll is here. Mei Lim, Peter, and Rachel. While voting, we will prepare ourselves. May I invite everyone to turn on your video. We'll have a group photo before we go for our break. By the way, who's going to take the group photo? This one we forget to coordinate.
Andy, I will take.
Okay.
But I can't fit all in one screen, so maybe we have to separate into 2.
Oh,
Okay.
So
I can take all in one screen.
I should be able to.
Oh, I see.
Hmm.
Okay, JC.
Okay. All right. So everyone, please.
Say we.
So could you turn on if you can turn on your video, that'll be great. Okay. So please look at the camera. Make sure your eyes are open wide and that you can fit the frame. You can use the reaction buttons if you like. It'll make it more exciting. Hold your pose. Okay, I'm counting the 3. Hold your pose. 1, 2, 3. Hang on. You can breathe. It's okay. All right. Change your pose. 1, 2, 3. Hey. Okay, looks good. All right, over to you.
You got everybody in?
Yes, got everyone.
Oh, good. Excellent. You're savvy.
Zoom photo savvy.
Before
Okay.
timer, do advise when we should come back for our break.
Timer.
Robin. How long are we allocated break already?
Up to 8:40. So we have 6 minutes.
All right. So we will start by 8:39. We will start to do roll call.
Okay, I'm gonna split everyone into the breakout rooms. Okay. See you back at 8:39.
Justin, you are too cute. I can't. You are too cute already. I can't leave my eyes from you.
Ayo. Thanks to the filters.
Yeah, the filters make you to be so cute today.
All right. Think we are all back.
At the times is up. Yeah. JC, shall we start? Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I believe you have a very memorable session in this breakup session just now, which is something we can remember in the breakup for today. With this now, is something I'm very glad for this session, because now for me to pass the baton for the third session, which is the GE session, which is called, also known as General Evaluator. What is GE all about? I will leave the stage and I'll pass the floor. Let this elegant and savvy lady explain her role and lead this team on the third session. With this, Kim Chow, over to you, Kim.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Indeed, it's a December to remember, because I'm here, not just meeting members from one club but 2 clubs, and hearing all the praise on Godfather and also the bosses and all that is tremendous. You know, the sharing of good feelings, all right? The enhancement of empathy for others. Yes, and I can also feel the sincerity and the spirit of selflessness, because members, Toastmasters who don't belong to 2 clubs are also here to volunteer the services, and that is selflessness. So this is indeed a December to remember, and we will also make sure that this evaluation is a session to remember, because we are here to help each other to become more savvy about our public speaking, to be more savvy about our communication skills. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll start with the first evaluation. We have heard how many? 5 table topic speakers who bravely face the gallery of videos and then stop the stuff and of course express opinions. So how did they do? How did they fare? It's my pleasure to call upon the table topics evaluator, who is the Vice President membership of Super Speakers Toastmasters. May I invite Dr. Mehdi. Dr. Mehdi, over to you.
I am here. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mehdi and I am a table topic evaluator for our tonight meeting. Hope you have enjoyed our meeting so far and you are waiting to get the feedback from the evaluators. Let's start from our first table topic speaker of tonight, who was none other than Toastmaster Su Tieng. Her topic was A Year to Remember. I believe she is a professional and experienced speaker. She could successfully absorb the attention of the audience. She kept a smile during her speech. She had a fantastic body gesture, and the most important things, she were able to deliver a complete speech. A complete speech means introduction, body, and conclusion. And she started with saying that from some disaster in Australia happened in 2019, like the flood and fire. And then she said, suddenly in Malaysia, in the mid of February, we faced this pandemic and we're still struggling with this. Congratulations to you, Toastmaster Su Tieng. You are a very good speaker. You are a potential speaker, and I am sure you are successful. Just a few points for you to just improve your delivery. Actually, as you notice, you went over time. I believe, of course, I understood that you have many things to share about 2020, and you were very passionate to share with us. But if it will be good if you can try to manage your time to try to just highlight the important points of your speech and just deliver to the audience. And another point I may suggest to you, it is to add some pauses to your speech. You had the fantastic delivery skills, you have the clear voice, you just add some pauses to your speech. It will help the audience to understand your speech better, digest your speech, and understand it. Okay, let's go to the second speaker of the tonight, Toastmaster Chin Pei. The topic was to plan is to be prepared for. Okay, first of all, congratulations to you by volunteering yourself. You did your best to deliver a complete speech, and somehow you were successful. Taking a challenge and volunteering is the first step and the most important step in the table topic session. I believe you are a new Toastmaster member, and the only advice I can suggest you is that just go the same way and volunteer yourself in the table topic session and try to deliver more speeches as much as you can, participate in table topic session, and I believe you will be a good and expert speaker soon. Let's move on to the third table topic speaker of the tonight, Toastmaster Chin En. Actually not Toastmaster, I think she was a guest. How should a savvy man dress? Of course, it's an interesting topic, especially for ladies and maybe for the guys also, to know how a savvy man should dress. And first of all, congratulations to you by volunteering yourself, because for the guests, maybe it's not easy to volunteer themselves for the table topic session, but you took this challenge and volunteer yourself. Your speech was clear, and we could, and audible, and you had a great eye contact, even though maybe it was your first time to speak in front of others. And the only things I can tell you to improve your speaking is that maybe I felt that you are keeping your mic during your speech. Maybe if it's possible for you to just leave it aside and just try to be relaxed and deliver your speech. At this way, you have your both hands, you can use them to deliver your speech and send your message to the audience. And the second things I want to mention is that for each table topic, you have few seconds in the beginning to think and to form your speech. So it's good to just think a few seconds and then deliver your speech. It will help you to organize and manage your speech better. And let's move on to our fourth speaker of tonight, Toastmaster Lian. Would you like to have a Proton Savvy or Purdue Myvi? Toastmaster Lian, as I remember you, I can see you participate in table topic session every meeting, and I can see your progress. Congratulations to you. You will be able to deliver a complete speech starting from introduction, body, and conclusion. It was great. It was fantastic. The only thing I may suggest you to improve your speech is that to add some energy to your speech and voice. If you add this and inject this feature to your speech, I believe it will be fantastic speech and you will be a fantastic speaker. And now let's move on to the last speaker of the tonight, or guest, Kensin, A December to Remember. I believe guest Kensin is a good speaker and somehow is a professional speaker. He had a lot of idea to share with us, maybe because he is a psychologist, because psychologists normally should be able to speak to their patients or their cases very well. And he could deliver the speech very well with the introduction, body, and conclusion. His voice was audible and we could understand his speech. Just the only point I can mention to him, maybe he can improve. I felt that during his delivery, he moving on his chair, left, right, and also I felt that he doesn't look at the camera when he is delivering his speech. If he tried to look at the camera and also he tried to fix his chair and just try to focus on his delivery. Thank you and wish all the best for all the speakers. Looking forward to hear from them. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Dr. Mehdi. Thank you very much for articulating your thoughts in such an enthusiastic way, giving very helpful feedback. Of course, if you had not spent so much time on the first speaker, you would have more time for the other speakers and finish on time, right?
Yeah,
so
correct.
this is important. I also remember sometimes, this is what my mentor taught me, always find words they have positive connotations. And in my evaluation, I won't say, well, you know how you can improve. I will always say that if you do this, your speech will be perfect. And I also say, my advice to you is this. I won't say, I will say, of course, if you do this, your speech would have a greater impact. So the positive, there are parts I remember Dr. Mehdi say, if you have done this, it would have been a fantastic speech. That part, really, I say, bravo, you have done it. Thank you very much. Now let's move on to the evaluations of the speech projects. The first speaker was Toastmaster May Lim, and it's my pleasure to invite her evaluator, the godfather of PC Segambut, distinguished Toastmaster Tuan Haji Hashim Adnan. Over to you, Tuan.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Toastmaster May, what I like about your speech, if I may, is to sum it up with a double D. One is delightful, two is dramatic. Indeed, it was delightful to see a pretty lady again. You are incredibly talented speaker. You are a savvy veteran, honestly. You use very simple language, easy for us to understand. And we also could follow your storyline better. You had a good research and you are very savvy in this area. Congratulations, May. It is so delightful to see you completely at ease, appears very confident, and you are self-assured in front of your audience. The second D is a dramatic. Your facial expressions dramatize your speech. You convey your emotion through your eye contact to us. You had a good slides presentation, which is again very savvily done, and that helps to dramatize your speech. So what can we do together, May, to be able to make the speech a level up? Maybe I will leave you with a suggestions or offer you with 2E. 1E is emotion. The emotion is a feeling. You are savvy in your speech with good speed, good volume, but we need the tone. We need the tone. We need the tone to vary your speech. Example, you could have said, do you know that we discovered ox 10,000 years ago. Like the picture you showed us on human transportation of ox in Vietnam. Could you imagine how painful that ox is on that motorcycle? These are certain areas where you can put feeling, emotion into your speech. The other E is the excitement. You were exciting all the time, but you need good, you also applied good facial expressions, but we have to create more excitement through your hands and body gesture. We cannot see that because you were too close to the camera. So if I may suggest, you sit back a little bit out of camera so that we can see your real excitement through the demonstrations of your body and hands gesture. Then we too get excited. And we will remember this December with you. Remember the 2E and you remember me. Back to you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Tuan Haji Hashim. Thank you very much. I always enjoy your dramatic style and your dynamic performance. Yes, despite the fact that this is an online presentation, you've done very well. You're able to use your voice and your hand gestures to dramatize and to lend support and strength to your speech and feedback. Wonderful. Of course, when we read notes, most of the time, we will bend down. So, but when you lift up your head, your eye contact is strong. Thank you very much, Tuan Haji, Godfather. Next, we move on to the evaluation for Toastmaster Simon Peter. So, well, how was his performance? And it's my pleasure to invite past division governor, who's a member of both MISA Toastmasters and Club Pidato Kuala Lumpur. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Leong Oi Wah. Over to you, my lady.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator, my fellow Toastmaster from Club Pidato Kuala Lumpur. Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I must say, Simon, that this was such an interesting and entertaining speech that you have delivered tonight. First thing is, I like the speech title, Tough Nut to Crack. And your speech project was in relation to mentoring. So we could relate to it straight away. And I saw this speech title from the message that I got. I was very excited. I knew this was going to be a very good speech. You started off with this verse, God gives the nuts, but don't crack it. And you went on to get responses from the audience itself, which was very good. And I like the fact that you close your speech with the same phrase. So the opening and closing were there. So what was that nut right in the center itself? You interspersed it with your experience as a protege. You gave us from young, your father was your mentor. In school, your 3 friends were your mentor. And when you were in university, you had a mentor from the Toastmasters Club, Vincent. And now you have another mentor, Khalid itself. So we could understand your experience as a protege itself. You also shared, you also have very excellent speaking rate. And I like the words that you use. It's not the common English. I like these words. Social butterfly. We don't hear it very often. Yeah. Hard-headedness itself. My limiting belief. Those are very good usage of words. Now, in this speech project, where you are to give us how Toastmasters envision mentoring. You did share with us your experience. The only thing is, I thought you could expand it further, because, for example, when you shared about Vincent being very, just like you, very hard-headed, and you had all the negative thought, but Vincent didn't want to go along with you. He had something different. Somehow I couldn't find what was different itself. And when it came to Khalid as your current mentor, you say he was open, he was always there. I would like you to also have shared with us what you learned from your mentor. So I would want to challenge you to perhaps in your next speech include things like explaining why the mentoring was important for you, how you have grown from the mentoring, and setting out what are the qualities that you learned from your mentor. That's all I have. I thought this was a fantastic speech. Back to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Oiwa. Thank you. I always admire distinguished Toastmasters Oiwa's evaluation because she is a very perceptive listener, a very perceptive evaluator, and she's able to dissect your speech and provide you feedback that is both insightful and incisive. Thank you very much, yes, for your performance. And of course, to Simon Peter, you give 3 examples. I always feel that in Toastmaster speech, we don't need to, all right, to say if it's 3 occasions, 3 examples, because it limits a time. Maybe you can choose 1 or 2 and you expand and deal with it in depth, right? And then we will honestly remember your story for the rest of our lives. Thank you very much. Moving on to the 3rd evaluation, which is for Toastmaster Rachel. And it's my pleasure to invite Toastmaster Alison Hugh. Over to you, Alison.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Toastmaster Rachel, what a great advice from a savvy psychologist to be. You share with us that this is a difficult project because you need to speak for at least 15 minutes and you did it great. What you shared with us was 3 points. Number 1, do not offer unsolicited advice, especially in a group. Second, to ask permission before we offer advice. And thirdly, look into ourselves first before we deliver the advice. Thank you so much for such wonderful advice, Toastmaster Rachel. Now, Toastmaster Rachel, from your speech, I get to know you a little better, even though this is my first time listening to you. From your speech, I get to know that you are actually very open and sincere because you speak your mind. You share with us that you do not like unsolicited advice, and in your head, you always wanted to say, just please shut up. I totally like that. I really like your openness. Secondly, I can see that you are a very caring speaker because throughout your speech of 18 minutes, you were holding the mic close to your mouth. That's because you care for your audience. You want them to listen and be able to follow your speech. That's because we are spending time listening to you, so you care about us. Thank you so much. Toastmaster Rachel, you also reiterated your points several times because you think that your speech and your message is important for us to practice. Thank you so much. Now, may I offer my suggestions to you? I can't see you. Okay, never mind. I'll just move on. Sorry, because that's a bit lengthy in my evaluation. Now, Toastmaster Rachel, you spoke for the entire at least 18 minutes, which is a requirement for a speech. And I think that there is a way for you to cheat a little bit so that you do not need to speak the entire time. You could relax. How? By getting the audience to speak to you, get them to interact with you. When you share something about someone offering you an advice you didn't want, you can throw this question to your audience. You ask them to share their take of this story. Ask how they felt when someone did that. So you kind of like get connection, more connection with your audience. Secondly, at some point, I couldn't see you. You were looking at some notes. That's all right. But it is also all right for you to do it in front of us. Have you ever seen evaluators holding a board with their notes in front of us? Yeah, just take a quick glance and continue to maintain your eye contact with us. Next would be your stories. I thought that you could also infuse emotions in your story because that would give a lasting impression to us. Thank you so much for your savvy advice, Toastmaster Rachel. Your recommendations is definitely useful to all of us, and you make us savvy as in human relations as we enter in this bullish year.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Alison. I admire your sincere and caring demeanor. So I must say that you match the speaker in your very positive demeanor. And of course, you have given very good feedback, very useful for Rachel. Yes, Rachel, don't disappear from your video frame. Find a way to stay, because this is how we learn our online appearance. And then if you are reading notes, make sure the notes are in front of you somewhere so that you don't disappear or you look away. Yes, and much as you want to make sure they want to stay close to us, we know. Don't hold your cable. All this matters because it is part of our online image. It's a distraction. No need to hold, because once you hold, your hand is tied. You must use your hands to express yourself. Yes, so that you can attract us, so that you can convince us. So this is important. And you have a very charming disposition. This is your asset. Stage by stage, you gain. Make sure you develop your online charisma. Right? Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to vote, I suppose, for the best evaluator. So can the Zoom master please launch the poll and vote for the best? You have heard 3 evaluators in action. Or maybe is also included. All right. So I hope you have voted wisely. Thank you very much. Move on to the 3 technical reports. And it's my pleasure to invite Vice President Membership of TC Segambut to present the language report or the grammarians report. Toastmaster Devi, over to you.
Thank you, Madam General Graduator. Well, let's get on with this word savvy. And I must say we have been very savvy about using these words. And the list goes this way: Robin twice, Andy 5 times, Jesse 3 times, General Evaluator altogether 4 times. Of course, SH Ng being the table topic master, using the word 9 times in his topic itself. Now, Sue 3 times, Chin Pei twice, Chin N twice, Leon once, Tuan Haji once, or rather Tuan Haji 3 times, and Alison 3 times. And I think I've mentioned it about 3 or 4 times. Now, at the beginning of my introduction as a grammarian, I said you can use it as adjective, noun, as well as a verb. Am I right? Yeah, I think so. But also, in the speech, we used it as a proper noun. And that will be SH once, and Leon once, and Dr. Mehdi once. That is either savvy or myvi. So there's 4 times where you can use it. Now, moving on, let's look at those phrases that I picked up that I found it to be really something that I should be mentioning here. The good phrases. Joint mission, most of the topic is wrapped around the theme. Mask is a norm, mask is a must. Dressed well in mind, everyone will be reminiscing 2020. We will be talking about a whole lot of bull. Built like an ox, strong in mindset. Dumb ox, dig deeper into a ditch. Discover lost sanity, remember the virtue of humanity. God gives you nuts, but he does not crack the nut. A lone wolf, social butterfly, get people under my wings, self-limiting beliefs, mentoring is experiential, unsolicited advice, insightful and incisive evaluation, positive demeanor, charming disposition, and last but not least, remember the 2E and remember me. Now, I shall go on to some phrases that may need some changes or some corrections. Not too many this time, I must say. In today's meeting, it should be in today's meeting. To take times, it should be take time. Can you remove spotlight me? Well, can you remove me from the spotlight or being in the spotlight? Probably. Ladies and gentlemen, clearly gentlemen is already a plural, so therefore gentlemen. Other persons, it should be other person. You don't say it. In fact, it should be, it should be you don't say it. There is a few reason behind. It should be there is a few reason, there's a reason behind, or there are a few reasons behind. Open to suggestion, it should be open to suggestions. When you open, it's usually to many suggestions, so therefore it has to be suggestions, right? Embarrass the persons, it should be embarrass the person. Share challenges, it should be share challenges. And last one of the reason, it should be one of the reasons, one of the many reasons that how it should be reasons. And that's about all from me. Back to Madam Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster or Vice President Membership, David. Thank you very much. You are very well delivered. Just because I know this is an online presentation, so when we read, our eyes are always looking down, but you did. So if you lift up your head more often, then you can make more eye contact with us. But it was very well delivered. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to point out one thing. Advice, for the noun is advice. He has given me plenty of advice, all right? Not advices. This is a very obvious mistake. So it is a singular term. Give me advice. But the verb, you can. You are right. I advise you. He advises me. The verb is different from the noun. So remember that. Thank you. Now to our time management. It's my pleasure to call upon Vice President Education of Super Speakers, Toastmaster Robin. Over to you.
Sorry, Madam General Evaluator, should be our counters report now.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so sorry. I was talking about that. My apologies. Yes, the R counter report. It's my pleasure to call upon Toastmaster Joyce from TC Segambut. Over to you. Joyce?
Yeah.
Yes.
So here is my time to for the R counter report.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, I have Chimpei here having 10 speech crutches, Terry of 2, Andy for 1, and Robin for 1, SH Eng for 2, Su Tiong for 3, Chin Eng for 6, Leon for 8, Kensian for 3, May for 2, Simon Peter for 10, and Rachel Ong for 17, Dr. Mehdi for 4, Tuan Hashim Anand for 1, and Leong Oiwa for 3, and lastly Edison for 2. Yeah, that's all for my report.
Thank you very much. How many times have you delivered the R-Counter report?
It's my first time.
Pardon?
It's my
How many
first time.
times have you done this report?
It is my first time.
First time. On behalf of everybody, I'm giving a big round of applause. Well done. You know, I love your smile. So adjust your laptop. Is a laptop you're using? Adjust the make sure that your brilliant smile, all right, can captivate all of us here. Wonderfully done. Thank you for counting all our R's and ums. Yes. Thank you for listening, for applying your active listening skills. And now to Vice President Education, Robin, for the timers report.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. This is my report. I think you can see my slide, right? Okay, this is the agenda. I just put the timing at the side of the person. For SAA, Chin Pei, allocated time 2 minutes. She took 2 minutes, 31 seconds. And President's address by JC, allocated time 5 to 7 minutes. She took 5 minutes, 25 seconds. And Toastmaster of the evening, Andy Yo, allocated time 8 to 10 minutes. He took 9 minutes, 30 seconds. The first table topic session handled by S.H. Ng is within 20 minutes. So to break up into the 5 table topic speaker is, the first one is Su Tiong, took 3 minutes, 22 seconds. Chin Pei, 2 minutes, 9 seconds. Chin En, 1 minute, 8 seconds. Leon, 1 minute, 41 seconds. Kian Xian, 1 minute, 57 seconds. And for prepared speech, the first one, for the first and second prepared speech, allocated time is 5 to 7 minutes. And for first speaker, Mei Lim, took 7 minutes, 20 seconds. And for second speaker, Simon, took 7 minutes, 40 seconds. For third speaker, allocated time is 18 to 22 minutes. Rachel Ang, she took 7 minutes, sorry, I didn't type out. It's supposed to be 14 minutes, 33 seconds, my bad, sorry. And the group photo and short break is within the timing, within the time frame. And for evaluation session, General Evaluator Kim Chow took 2 minutes, exact time. And for table topics, Evaluator Dr. Mehdi, allocated time is 5 to 6 minutes, but he took 7 minutes, 22 seconds. The first speech evaluator allocated time, all the evaluators are allocated 2 to 3 minutes. And for first evaluator, Haji Hashim, took 3 minutes, 51 seconds. Second evaluator, Leong Oiwa, took 3 minutes, 35 seconds. And for the third evaluator, Allison, took 3 minutes, 39 seconds. For grammarian report, allocated time 3 to 4 minutes. Toastmasters Tevi took 3 minutes, 56 seconds. And R-Counter report, allocated time 2 to 3 minutes. Joyce Cha, she just took 32 seconds. And that's all from me. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you very much to timer, Robin. Wow, I really must applaud you on your competence and efficiency. You're able to deliver, write down, record, yes, and still at the same time listening to all the wonderful speeches, yes. And those speeches did not distract you. So it shows how resilient you are. Yeah, that you say, yes, I have a duty to perform, so I better. So, well, thanks for all the proof. Wonderful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, very quickly, a few words from me for the other speakers and presenters. Starting with the Sergeant at Arms, Chin Pei, thank you very much. Your introduction was very clear and concise. All right. And you are in such a jovial mood. Therefore, you uplifted everybody. And there is joy and cheer in the air. Thank you. That's the right way to go. And then came President, Distinguished Toastmaster JC, President of DC Segambut, sailing in and, well, uplifting us with a very sincere presentation. And I really appreciate her thanks, her recognition of Distinguished Toastmaster Tuan Haji Hashim Adnan, whom now I know is the godfather, because so many of us have volunteered. This is a fantastic network of volunteerism. And we learn to volunteer our services selflessly or with altruism, without asking for anything in return. We get without asking for any rewards. And it is wonderful because this is December. It is a time for us to give, give, and give, because only when we give, we receive. So, Distinguished Toastmaster JC, thank you for the wonderful speech. Thank you. And moving on to Toastmaster of the evening, Distinguished Toastmaster Andy, thank you. I always love that charming smile of yours. Yes. How do you perfect that in the mirror? Thank you. And I noticed that you use a lot of slides. I wish to share something about slides. This is from my mentor, because I also have my Sifu. He said in a short presentation, do not use slides, because when we use slides, they become an obstruction. He told me, when you are the speaker, you should be under the spotlight. You get me? For the world to see, admire. And if you use a slide, it blocks you. And if this, at least laptop, we can move. I will move everything so that I can see the beautiful and the charming Andy. You get me? But if it's a smartphone, there's no way. Once you share something, you can't be seen because your video becomes very small. So I come to realize that if a short presentation, this is public speaking. In an office meeting, when you deliver reports, is totally different. But this is public speaking. So I have been advised to develop my online charisma. Meaning looking at the audience, interacting with them, yes, and then speaking to them, expressing to them without using any crutch, without using any slide, unless it is absolutely necessary. And at the same time, I learned what you call auto download. That means long before the meeting, I upload everything. So the moment performance starts, is everything on auto download. So it is a training for my grace cells as well. Yes, if I don't remember anything, I will put it up on my desktop on the screen, but it can't be seen. I can only see. But you would think I'm talking to you. Actually, I'm looking at my notes. You get me? I will open the note and so that I will know. But as I read, I will have eye contact, I have facial expressions, and also hand gestures. So you don't suspect a thing that I'm reading. Actually, I don't see anybody at all because it's blocked. Once you open a document, you don't see the gallery at all. But I will be talking. So it's part of my training. This becomes part of my training, which is called online charisma. And I'm trying very best to improve. So I'm glad to share this with you. And Toastmaster, Distinguished Toastmaster Andy, you have the charming smile, you're very, what do you call that? A very attractive personality. You can carry it. You can remain under the spotlight. Thank you very much for your performance. And of course, you also make some mistakes, right? You say you put on the things and well, I'm glad that you're able to, how do you say, respond in a very, but don't use the word shit. It's a habit. We can say, oh, I'm so sorry, mistake, in a dignified way. It's because it's a habit. I know it's unintentional. Now, moving on to table topics master, SHM. Yes, you have given some topics and you base all your topics on the word savvy. No, not necessary. Where are you? You base it on the topic. December is a month to remember. December to remember. Because savvy is for your speakers. You knock them. Hello, hello. When you speak, you must use the word. Not you. You get me? That's why you get how I'm going to develop. So you put yourself into this difficult position because you think that you must have savvy. Your first, well, what do you call that? Your first topic was very good. A year to remember. That's why you can see area director Su Tiong, tall and spice, forgot that she has overrun the red light. You get me? Things like that. People say, oh, so much to share with you. The second one, of course, stumped because I was also stumped. Then so you must understand. Yes, based on the theme. For example, do you make your resolution for the new year in December? Right? Yes, and something with December, and so it's easier. And well, now I wish to spend 2 minutes evaluating your performance, your project in active listening. And where can you please wave your hand because I'm looking at the gallery. Good, now I know I must have eye contact with you. Oh, say yes, he has moved again. Where are you now? Yes, SH. Oh, okay. Now you're at the top. Very good. Now, SH, you have a very dignified appearance. The way you carry yourself. Here, practice makes perfect. So number one is always the topics. Yes. Now, when you listen, I see you must make what you call that as the speaker makes you listen. And then after that, you have to say something in connection to what they have spoken. So when you talk to them, you actually got to look at them. Then you find that there's rapport. For example, Su Tiong, Toastmaster Su Tiong say, then you say, wow, that's a wonderful speech. And you should say, you have given us, you reminded us of what happened in Australia. I've forgotten. So it is like you're having a conversation with her. You get me? Not just abruptly. And they say, that is a wonderful chronological account of what happened in Australia. Yes. And then in the second one, you say that things like, well, yes, true. You know, we just not need to be what you call that. Yes, we are worried about the future. Yes, we are worried about the future, so we must plan. I agree wholeheartedly with you. So you bring that kind of closeness. And then it is not like, oh, it is planned beforehand that you will say this. So there is always a connection. Now, active listening, very good. You have very good comments. Only that part about how to establish rapport, yes, with the respective speakers. Thank you very much for the performance. And how many times have you been Table Topics Master? Because I heard you, are you new in TC Sagambut?
I'm new in TC Sagambut, but I was Toastmaster for 7 years. Then I quit for.
Wonderful. I'm so glad. So TC Sagambut is so lucky. Well done to you. And ladies and gentlemen, this indeed is a December to remember, because I will always remember this meeting of the two clubs together with members from other clubs, all in the spirit of celebration and altruism, giving and giving, so that we will receive, yes, from the Almighty. Thank you very much. Continue to practice your public speaking so that you can become more and more savvy in your public speaking skills. And now do I hand you back to Mr. Toastmaster or to the president of the other club?
To Andy, the Toastmaster.
All right, back. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome back Mr. Toastmaster. Andy, over to you.
Thank you, Kim, for the gracious GE recommendation and comments for today. And I even say that, how come Andy and Kim today is on the same head? Yeah, we have the same wavelength, and we have to practice our, what they call it? I lost my word there. Our, visionary presentation skill. I have to twist my words somehow. Okay, without further ado, we now move on to the closing session for today's meeting. As we have opened the speech by the opening address from the TC Segambut Club President, now we're going to close this meeting by the Club President from Super Speakers. With this, may I invite Oi Mei Ling to take over this final session. Mei Ling, over to you.
Thank you, our GME of today, DPM and D. Now is the time for award presentation, right? Yep. Before the award presentation, I would like to show our token of appreciation to our Madam GE. Yep. Thank you, our Madam GE, for giving us a lot of these golden nuggets and showing us a lot of examples how to make things and present our speeches or using the hand gestures. Thank you very much.
And someone take photo, please. I'm sharing the slide.
Oh, all right.
Okay, I'll take the photo. 1, 2, pose. Okay. Done.
Nice. Thank
you very much.
Now we are going to announce the Best Table Topics Award. Drum roll. The Best Table Topic Speaker goes to
Hang. Oh, the suspense is there. Ah, shit.
You went to Kim Chow.
My PC hang. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Let me stop sharing and I reshare.
You stop sharing and then you share it again. All right. Everyone takes a breather. Who's the winner? Who's the winner?
I'm still hanging. To my word. What a wrong timing this is. This is something
Stay cool, stay cool. Cool, calm, collected. Things like this happen. It's not as bad as when I conducted training, whole platform collapsed. Everybody was locked out.
Lost my entire slide.
Your slides have gone missing.
Maybe we can do the
just
announcements first.
Yeah.
I have to open back my.
Maybe you can ask Madam President Mei Ling to give a speech, and then you work on the technical things.
Okay, let's see whether it's working or not.
Yeah, it's me again. All right, next one.
Okay, let me do it again. The best table topic goes to drum roll. Who's the best table topic speaker?
Oh,
congratulations!
Thank you so much.
Hang on. Give me a
congratulations.
Give me a second. All right. Pose. 1, 2, smile. Okay.
Good, thank you. Congratulations, Kensian. Next, we will announce the best project speakers. Drum rolls. The best project speakers goes to Mei Lim. Congratulations, Mei Lim. Please turn on your camera.
Wait.
Wow, I love shape.
1, 2, smile. Okay, got it.
Thank you. Congratulations again. Next, I will the best evaluator. The best evaluator goes to drum roll. Haji Hashim Anna.
The Godfather. Okay, good job. 1, 2, pose. All right.
Thank you. Congratulations to our best table topic speaker, Kian Xian, best project speaker, Mei Lim, and our best evaluator, Haji Hashim Adnan. Now is the closing president address. What I would like to say, this is my first experience joining Toastmaster after maybe up to 4 years. This is my first time having a joint club meetings. I have learned a lot throughout this meeting and I have fun for this meeting. What I have learned, especially from our project speakers, the ox, I have learned a lot of different names of the ox, some of the histories, the idioms, the good one and the bad one, the bullshit years ahead. And the next one is the mentoring. What I have learned from Sam is there's no one-way street, no my way or highway. It is always a two-way interaction between the mentor and mentee. And last but not least, I definitely learned a lot from our speaker, Rachel, which is listening is more important than giving advice, because we have been all the while thinking giving advice is something to guide, to recommend with the good intention and showing care. But in the other way, it turned out like a judging, discouragement or ignorance of others' emotions. So now we learn that we need, actually that person needs someone to listen instead of you giving advice. So this is more like resonant to the wife and husband. When a wife or girlfriend want to just make some complaint, she just want a listener instead of you giving a lot of these advices. Yeah. Okay, last but not least, thank you our Madam GE for giving us a lot of these good advices that we definitely learn a lot from you. Yeah, with that, I will end my closing speech. Thank you for having this joint club meeting. I'm looking forward to have more of these joint club meetings. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And happy New Year 2021 and wish everybody have a good year ahead. Yep, I pass over the control to Andy.
No. What I want to say is that perhaps you can invite the guests to say something for the end of the meeting.
Okay, hold on. Let me